Have you ever wondered why some people grow lighter, happier, and more alive with age, while others grow bitter, lost, or tired? It's not just luck, it's not just good health. It's something deeper. And today, we're going to uncover 6 life-changing lessons from those who have lived 8 decades. Lessons that could transform how you see aging, and maybe even how you live your next chapter. You know, every once in a while life offers a rare chance to sit down with someone who's seen 8 decades of ups, downs, laughter, and quiet triumphs. I remember a sunny afternoon when I met Evelyn, a spirited woman whose twinkling eyes held stories that stretched back through time. As we sipped our tea, she shared insights that felt as timeless as the wisdom in a well-worn book. Today, I invite you to join me on a journey through the lessons learned from 80-year-olds, lessons that have the power to reshape the way you think about aging. These aren't just pieces of advice, they're reflections of lived experience, backed by research and personal stories that inspire and empower. It all began with a gentle reminder that aging is not a decline but a transformation, a continual process of growth. Evelyn's words echoed in my mind: every wrinkle tells a story, every gray hair is a memory. It's a perspective that challenges the modern obsession with youth and perfection. In our conversation, she explained how each stage of life comes with its own unique strengths. Recent studies even suggest that older adults often experience heightened emotional regulation and deeper empathy, which enrich their interactions with loved ones and their communities. This first lesson is about embracing the passage of time with gratitude and openness, acknowledging that the beauty of life intensifies with every new chapter. I recall another conversation, this one with George, a retired engineer whose calm demeanor belied the fierce intellect he once applied to solving complex problems. He told me that one of the most profound lessons he had learned was to let go of the need for perfection. When you're 80, he said with a warm smile, you learn that life isn't about getting everything right, it's about appreciating the journey, even with its bumps and detours. In his words, there was a gentle invitation to simplify life and to focus on what truly matters. Research indicates that simplifying daily routines and reducing stress can have a measurable impact on both mental and physical health, particularly in later years. It's a lesson in prioritization, focusing on relationships, meaningful activities, and self-care rather than getting lost in a maze of endless tasks. As I continued to explore the treasure trove of wisdom shared by those who have reached a venerable age, I encountered Maria, a lively octogenarian whose stories of resilience were both moving and humorous. Maria had survived wars, economic upheavals, and personal losses, yet she always seemed to find a reason to smile. One rainy afternoon, as we strolled through a quiet park, she explained that the secret to her long life was her willingness to adapt and reinvent herself. I used to be afraid of change, she admitted, but now I see that every change brings a new opportunity to learn and grow. This lesson on adaptability and continuous learning is echoed by modern research on neuroplasticity, which shows that the brain can continue to develop and form new connections well into old age. It's a reminder that curiosity and the willingness to explore new horizons can keep the mind vibrant and the spirit youthful. Then there was Henry, a gentle soul who had once been a financial advisor and now spent his days mentoring younger neighbors about smart financial planning in retirement. His calm and thoughtful voice carried the weight of years of experience, and he was quick to remind me that financial security in later life is less about accumulating wealth and more about planning for the unexpected. Henry often spoke about how he learned to balance saving with enjoying life. I always kept a little aside for fun, dinner out with friends, a spontaneous trip, a new hobby, he shared. Financial experts often point out that seniors who maintain a balanced approach to money, saving wisely while still allowing themselves to experience joy, tend to enjoy a higher quality of life. Henry's lesson is a testament to the idea that good financial health in old age means being proactive and adaptable, while never losing sight of the simple pleasures that bring happiness. I remember sitting with Irene, a former schoolteacher whose eyes still shone with the passion of a lifelong learner. In her soft, measured tone, she recounted how she embraced technology long after most of her peers had written it off. Irene's story was not just about learning to use a smartphone or navigate social media, it was about staying connected in an ever-changing world. She explained how joining an online book club and video chatting with family across the globe brought new layers of joy and connection into her life. Research has shown that seniors who engage with technology tend to feel more connected and less isolated, which can have a significant positive impact on emotional well-being. Irene's lesson reminds us that it's never too late to learn something new, to connect with others, and to bridge the gap between generations through the power of digital literacy. Another conversation that left a deep impression on me was with Samuel, a man whose gentle humor and reflective nature belied a lifetime of experiences. Samuel had a quiet way of sharing insights about emotional resilience that resonated deeply. He explained that over the years he learned the value of forgiveness, both of oneself and of others. Holding on to anger is like carrying a heavy weight on your back, he said softly. The moment you let it go, you feel lighter and more free. This lesson is deeply supported by research in psychology that shows forgiveness and letting go of grudges can significantly improve mental health and reduce stress. Samuel's ability to find peace in the midst of life storms taught me that emotional well-being is an art form, one that is cultivated through compassion, self-care, and the gentle acceptance of life's imperfections. As we weave through these stories, it's important to reflect on how these lessons are interconnected. They remind us that aging is not a solitary decline into solitude, but rather a rich tapestry woven with threads of resilience, adaptability, financial prudence, technological openness, and emotional depth. In each conversation, there was an underlying theme: the recognition that every day is an opportunity to live more fully and to embrace change with a gentle optimism. Listening to these incredible individuals, I found myself inspired to reframe my own perspective on aging. It's easy to get caught up in the societal narrative that equates aging with loss, but these conversations prove otherwise. Each lesson, whether it comes from Evelyn, George, Maria, Henry, Irene, or Samuel, reinforces the idea that the later years of life can be a time of rich opportunity. Imagine, for a moment, that you could carry with you a toolkit filled with insights that have been refined over decades. These are not just tips or fleeting ideas, they are the distilled wisdom of a life well lived, offering guidance on how to navigate challenges, embrace new experiences, and foster deep connections with others. I want to take a moment here to invite you to reflect on your own experiences. Perhaps there's a lesson you learned from an older family member or a friend that shaped the way you view life. If you feel comfortable, share your thoughts and memories in the comments below. It's a wonderful way to keep the conversation alive and to build a community where each of us can learn from one another. There's also a subtle beauty in understanding that each of these lessons has its own unique flavor, much like the spices in a treasured family recipe. The way Evelyn celebrated the beauty of time, or the manner in which George embraced the imperfection of life, each adds a distinct note to the melody of aging. And when you listen closely, you might notice that these lessons often interlace: health influencing finances, emotional well-being interweaving with digital literacy, and social connections bolstering every aspect of a fulfilling life. It's a symphony of human experience, one that grows richer as the years pass by. One of the most striking themes in these conversations is the idea of living with intention. Consider the gentle wisdom of Evelyn again. By cherishing each moment and embracing the natural progression of life, she taught me that aging isn't about holding on to the past but about making each day count. Research supports this notion too, indicating that seniors who practice mindfulness and live intentionally tend to experience lower stress levels and higher overall satisfaction. This isn't just a romantic idea, it's backed by solid evidence that shows the profound benefits of a life lived with conscious purpose. Every story I've shared today echoes this sentiment, inviting us all to slow down, take a deep breath, and savor the present moment. In another heartfelt conversation, I met Leonard, a jovial man who once worked in construction and now spends his days writing poetry and tending a small garden. Leonard's life story was a masterclass in resilience and the power of reinventing oneself. He explained how, after retirement, he found a renewed sense of purpose by channeling his creativity into writing. "I used to think that retirement meant the end of my working days," he confessed, "but now I see it as the beginning of a new chapter." Leonard's words remind us that aging can be a powerful catalyst for self-discovery. When we allow ourselves to pursue new passions, we not only keep our minds active but also open ourselves up to a world of unexpected joys. And isn't that a lesson we can all learn from? Whether you're planning for retirement or already enjoying those golden years, embracing change can lead to some of life's most beautiful surprises. It's also important to acknowledge the role that physical health plays in this journey. I had the chance to talk with Barbara, a former nurse who now dedicates her time to volunteering at community centers. Barbara shared how maintaining an active lifestyle, even in small ways, can profoundly impact both physical and mental health. "I never took a single day for granted," she said, her voice tinged with both humor and wisdom. "A brisk walk in the park or a simple stretch can make all the difference." Research consistently shows that regular physical activity is one of the strongest predictors of longevity and improved quality of life. Barbara's story is a gentle reminder that taking care of our bodies is not about strenuous workouts or extreme diets. It's about finding little moments of movement that make us feel alive and connected to our own vitality. As the narrative unfolds, it becomes clear that every conversation, every shared experience, carries with it an invitation to see aging through a new lens. I'm sure many of you have felt the pressure of societal expectations, to look a certain way, to achieve specific milestones by a set age. Yet the wisdom of these 80-year-olds gently challenges that notion. They remind us that life is not a checklist of achievements but an ongoing adventure filled with learning, laughter, and even the occasional misstep that ultimately teaches us how to rise again. The process of aging is much like a long, winding road that invites us to explore, to pause and reflect, and to appreciate the myriad experiences that make us who we are. There was a moment when I was speaking with Doris, a woman whose gentle humor and calm wisdom radiated in every word she spoke. She told me that the secret to her enduring happiness was her focus on relationships, nurturing bonds with family, friends, and even neighbors. "I make it a point to call someone every day, even if it's just to say hello," Doris explained. Connection is the thread that weaves our lives together. In today's fast-paced, digitally driven world, her advice rings truer than ever. Studies reveal that strong social ties can significantly reduce the risk of cognitive decline and enhance emotional resilience. Doris's lesson is a heartwarming reminder that while technology can bring us closer, nothing quite replaces the warmth of a genuine conversation and the shared laughter of good company. Midway through our conversation, as I reflected on these lessons, I felt compelled to ask myself, and you, a simple question: how can we, regardless of our age, adopt these powerful insights into our everyday lives? If you've ever experienced a moment where someone's story profoundly changed your perspective, you know that these insights are more than just words, they are calls to action. And speaking of calls to action, if you find these reflections meaningful, please consider subscribing to this channel. Your subscription is not just a click, it's a way to join a community of curious minds who value the wisdom of experience. One of the most transformative lessons I learned was the value of embracing technology, as championed by Irene and others who ventured into the digital world with open hearts. There was a time when I, too, felt overwhelmed by the rapid pace of technological change. But as I listened to Irene recount her adventures with online platforms, it became clear that digital literacy is not reserved for the young. In fact, research suggests that seniors who learn to use new technologies report higher levels of satisfaction and a stronger sense of connection to the world around them. Whether it's sending an email, joining a social media group, or simply video chatting with a distant relative, the ability to navigate digital spaces can transform loneliness into community. And isn't that something worth celebrating? If you're finding these stories and insights valuable, please give this video a like. It's a small gesture that goes a long way in keeping the conversation thriving. As we near the end of our shared journey today, I find myself reflecting on how these lessons intertwine with the very essence of being human. The wisdom of our 80-year-old friends is a gentle reminder that every stage of life has its own charm, its own set of challenges, and its own rewards. Whether it's learning to let go of perfection, embracing change with open arms, nurturing relationships, or venturing into new technological realms, each lesson is an invitation to live more fully and authentically. It's about accepting that aging is not a race against time but a graceful dance with it, a dance where each step, whether slow or quick, carries its own beauty. I want to leave you with one final thought, one that encapsulates the spirit of all these lessons. Think of your life as a grand tapestry, where every experience, every setback, and every triumph adds a vibrant thread to the overall design. The wisdom of these remarkable 80-year-olds is a testament to the fact that aging can be a period of immense growth, resilience, and joy. It teaches us that even as our bodies change and our hair grays, our capacity for wonder, compassion, and love remains undiminished. Before we wrap up, let me invite you once more to share your own stories. What lessons have you learned from those who are a little further down the road of life? I encourage you to leave a comment, sharing your insights and experiences. It's in these shared moments of reflection that we build a community of support and understanding, a community where every voice, no matter how quiet, contributes to the collective wisdom. And if you found today's journey as inspiring as I did, please consider sharing this video with a friend. There's something truly powerful about spreading these timeless lessons, ensuring that more people get to hear the gentle guidance that can make all the difference in how we approach aging. Each share is a step towards building a more compassionate and understanding community, one that values experience over fleeting trends. To sum it up, the 6 lessons we've explored today, from embracing the passage of time and letting go of perfection, to the power of adaptability, financial prudence, digital literacy, and emotional resilience, are not just isolated ideas. They are interconnected threads that, when woven together, create a rich and meaningful picture of what it means to live a full life as we age. Each story shared by our wise elders is a gentle nudge, encouraging us to step back, appreciate the journey, and recognize that the later chapters of life are not merely about surviving, but about thriving. In reflecting on these conversations, I can't help but feel a deep sense of gratitude. Grateful for the experiences that have shaped these individuals, and grateful for the opportunity to learn from them. Their stories remind me that life's true beauty lies in its imperfections, in its unpredictability, and in its ability to surprise us at every turn. They remind us that aging is not something to be feared, but rather a natural and enriching process that holds countless opportunities for growth and renewal. As we conclude today's journey, I encourage you to carry these lessons with you. Think about how you might incorporate a bit more mindfulness into your daily routine, or perhaps take that first step towards learning something new, be it a digital skill or a creative hobby. Let these stories inspire you to embrace change with open arms and to look at each day as a precious gift. Thank you for spending this time with me, listening to these heartfelt stories and reflective insights. Remember, the wisdom of those who have walked the path before us is a resource that can guide us toward a more fulfilling and joyful life. If you enjoyed these insights, please do subscribe, like, comment, and share this video with someone who might need a gentle reminder of the beauty of aging. As you go forward, may you find comfort in the knowledge that every stage of life brings its own unique joys, challenges, and moments of growth. The lessons of our elders are not merely relics of the past, they are living, breathing pieces of wisdom that continue to illuminate our present and guide us toward a brighter, more compassionate future. Take care, and remember that the journey of life, with all its twists and turns, is something to be celebrated every single day. And so, as we wrap up this conversation, let these words resonate with you. Aging is not an end, but a beautiful beginning, a journey of discovery, of connection, and of profound, quiet strength. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time, keep embracing the lessons life has to offer, and never forget that the wisdom of age is a gift we can all cherish.